Genesis's flagship SUV just got a refresh. Let's get into it. Now, you might be looking at the front end saying, Kirk, it's the same exact vehicle. There are no changes. Well, we'll get into some of the nitty gritty here in a little bit, but I want to go over the design first. And if you like what Genesis is doing with their lineup, starting first with sedans, but now heading out of the park with their SUVs, make sure to smash that like button. And let's get into the changes here on the Genesis GV80, their largest SUV. There have been some rumors and rumblings, I should say, about a GV90 flag, like a true flagship 3-row. I don't know if that's ever going to come, but here we have the GV80. It's first SUV that was brought to the market here in the United States, and the GV70 came, which is more of the midsize or compact. You guys know how I feel about sizings of modern cars, like they can fit in multiple segments. And then you have the GV60 fully electric that's even maybe a tick smaller than the GV70, but has more interior space. So anyways, the GV80 sits at the top, and let's break down what's going on with the differences here. Well, the hood looks to be identical. The logo looks to be identical, but the biggest thing you're going to notice here is that the grille is completely different. So here is the old fence pattern, which I thought was a bit much. It looked way too chain link fence. Not that it looked bad, but a lot of people got Bentley vibes, and that's a good thing because that is, a quintessential luxury Bentley. But check out what they've done to the front end here, at least with the pattern. It is a double cross pattern. And so now you have even these little diamonds when these double lines intersect. So it looks a lot more premium in my opinion. Let me know if you guys like the newer design down below or the older design above. And you remember, Genesis is going to be fully electric by 2025 potentially. Is that right? At least all their new models will be rolling out will be electric by 2025. And that's just a year from now, essentially, at this point. So their gas models will live on until they're replaced by a new generation. So this is a refresh of the gas version, and then it will be replaced probably in 3 or 4 years by a fully electric new platform by Hyundai. So what's next? Well, the headlights really didn't need to be changed, but they did change them. Not the daytime running lights. Those have stayed the same. But check out these pixelized little headlights in here and how small they've been able to make these headlights. That's next generation technology that I don't know if I've seen headlights this small quite yet, at least from the cars that I cover on the channel. This is fantastic. Now, we did have like kind of quad beam design previously. Now we have all these individual LEDs pulling their own weight, and their combined effort makes up for the headlight experience. And this pixelization really comes from the Hyundai Ioniq lineup, the Ioniq 5, Ioniq 6, and even the new Hyundai Kona EV has pixelized little squares, a part of its identity, design, and functionality now with the headlights. So I thought that was pretty cool. Let's move down below and check out the bottom portion of the bumper. I think looks a lot more like the GV70, and that's a good thing. I don't think this looks bad, but really they've added these kind of dark chrome trimmings here at the bottom. They've added this more skid plate looking portion at the very bottom lip here, and they've also included a lattice here like they did over here, but they've made these portions that direct air around the side of the vehicle and maybe to help brake cooling. They've made them a lot bigger. Almost like a Lexus F Sport sort of design. So let me know if you guys prefer the more spear-like design where you have this real sharp point going in, or if you like this portion down here with the refresh. I actually like the refresh version a little bit more. I think it's a more cohesive design, in some ways less detail, and yeah, I think it looks really, really clean and very premium. But we're not going to stop there because we have the GV80 Coupe that was a debut. Let's see if I can pull up some images here. If we look right here, this was the concept of it. Now, there are going to be some major differences between this and the concept. If you look at the concept, for example, it took a much more sporty design. These are like 23-inch wheels. They're out of control, huge. But now this vehicle is taking more of a sporty front end, almost like the GV70. But what design characteristics that have come over is we have these little slots, these 4 slots underneath the grille, and the pattern of the front grille has carried over from what we see here on the concept. But the concept was completely blacked out with the designs, and here we have more of a reflective dark chrome, it looks like. Now, the front headlights here are the same on the refreshed. I'll go back to the refreshed model here on the GV80 normal, not the coupe version. So you can see actually the differences here between the front ends. And it's kind of like what the GV70 does between, let's say, the sport models and the non-sport models. There are some differences with the bumpers and whatnot. And so on this coupe, we actually have larger cutouts here in the corners compared to the more tightly pushed up ones that we have on this guy. I mean, honestly, I think I like the looks of the non-coupe front end better. Just because I don't know how I feel about these lines, these random lines here at the bottom that cut across this mesh pattern corner airflow region. So it doesn't look bad. I just think the front end of the non-coupe looks better. Let me know, guys, down below which front end do you like better. And let's compare the sides of these guys so you can get an idea of their presence. Here's the coupe, obviously on the bottom with the more slopey roof line. I just got done driving last week the e-tron coupe crossover variant of the Q8, and that's the same sort of vibes I'm getting right here. I don't like it personally. It just doesn't go with the flow of the vehicle as well as this. I prefer the more boxy nature. I also prefer the more additional cargo space that you're going to have back here, as well as you also have that optional third row seat in the GV80, which obviously you would not have that in the coupe. But what are the differences here besides the obviously sloping roof line and the shorter like rear window here? Well, wheel designs could be different here. You're not going to mistake this for a GV70. I don't think this vehicle still looks enormous from the side. The wheelbase looks identical. This little side garnish looks the same as well. So let me know if you guys like this more sporty rear end or the boxy rear end of the traditional model. We have one more image of the rear here if you guys wanted to see the rear taillights, for example, which honestly the rear taillights on the non-coupe are different. Look how more holographic these look. I don't think we have a rear image of. No, we just have a front and a side image of the new refresh. So I'll give you guys more images of this when I get them. But yeah, the taillights are definitely different between the two here as well. And we have huge quad tip exhausts, at least enclosures here on the back of the GV80 coupe, as well as a dual spoiler, kind of like what we actually I'm testing this week on the Toyota BZ4X. Has an optional deck lid spoiler that kind of has this double effect. So in comparing to the non-refreshed GV80 and with the refreshed up top, the rear bumper has changed a little bit on the rear fascia, but really it looks very similar from the side profile. All right, so we have the crystal-like shift-by-wire on these models, and you're also going to see a 27-inch wide display. That is going to change the interior quite a bit. Unfortunately, Genesis has not given us interior images, so that is a big swing and a miss, in my opinion, to talk about this awesome new display you have, but you can't show it. One of the really cool things here is that the GV80 Coupe gets the optional engine from the G90, redesigned G90, that has an electric supercharger and twin turbo 3.5 liter V6. So that is an amazing engine setup. I think it's connected to an 8-speed auto, if I remember correctly. And it's really smooth, very powerful, very linear. And I can't wait to drive it in the GV80 Coupe. That thing is going to be an absolute missile. But the GV80 Coupe and the GV80 come with twin turbo V6 or the turbocharged 2.5 liter 4-cylinder that we have on, let's say, the GV70 and the GV80 already. So those are carrying over. It's just that the Coupe gets that optional electric supercharger engine. So they're saying the shift-by-wire has been redesigned, and that's the crystal. At least I'm assuming it's a very similar crystal setup to what we have in the GV60 electric vehicle, which is going to be awesome. I really like that flipping crystal design. Hopefully it doesn't break, because it might be difficult to put the car into drive or reverse if it doesn't flip over, but I'll see if it's different in this vehicle compared to the GV60. I don't want to talk too much about the interior again since we don't have images, but we have two-tone colored steering wheels. We have an improved pedal design, crash pads, and center console featuring leather, aluminum, and real wood. Cannot wait to see it. They've redesigned the wireless charging smartphone tray, and it provides better visibility of the phone while it's charging, and an enlarged console cup holder and knob type volume tune adjustment button. That's great. You know, the Genesis, they kind of had the scroll wheel, which wasn't my favorite way to adjust volume, but I'm really interested to see what the volume tune adjustment knob is like, because that is a big improvement. Even though it's small, for me, it's a really big improvement. Like I said, I'm driving the Toyota BZ4X this week. There's no volume knob. I'm like, Toyota, what the heck? All your other cars have volume knobs. Why don't I have a volume knob in this electric car? Anyways, the GV80 comes with a choice of 5 interior colors. Earth brown, Bordeaux brown. They don't say the other two, but those 3 that I just mentioned are all new colors. So brown is a hit or a miss for me. I really like light brown interiors, like a caramel, but dark brown I don't like whatsoever. So I'm interested to see what these look like. And the white one as well is going to look gorgeous, but yeah, people worry about denim stains and things like that with white and light interiors. Okay, so I can confirm that the GV80 Coupe has exclusive 20 and 22 inch wheel designs. The GV80 Coupe also has 13 different paint color options, including bearing blue. And a lot of the times they do matte versions of their traditional paint colors. So that's an easy way to get more paint color options. A little bit more details on the 48 volt mild hybrid twin turbo electric supercharged Frankenstein of an engine. That has 415 horsepower and a metric of torque that we don't use here in the United States. I'll go ahead and put what that is in pound feet. The 3.5 liter turbo provides 380 horsepower. And then you have the entry level turbo 4-cylinder, which provides 304 horsepower, which I believe is plenty enough for the average person in buying luxury cars. And the electric supercharged 3.5 liter coupe has a launch control drive mode. And yes, they've improved the safety features, which is always good to see. But I want to show you guys the sales real quick of the GV80 here in the United States. First full year it went on sale here was about 20,000 units. In 2022, it fell to 17,000 units. So far in 2023, they've sold about 11,500 units. And it doesn't look like they're going to get back to that 20,000 volume this year based off of the first, 8 months of being on sale here in the United States. And real quick, before I let you guys go, Hyundai and Kia EV price cuts are coming to the Korean market. And the Ioniq 5 just got $3,000 cheaper. So hopefully we start seeing those price cuts here in the United States as well. Over there, the Ioniq 5's base price will start at $34,100, in the United States at $41,000. I know it's apples to oranges. You can't compare one market versus the other, but it is a tough pill to swallow. And that's the thing with, like I said, I'm driving the BZ4X this week. It comes in on the limited trim over $50,000. It's not worth anywhere close to that money, in my opinion. I would rather have so many other Toyota or Lexus models around $50,000 compared to the BZ4X. But wait for my full review and buying guide with the BZ4X to see if that's going to be a car you should even consider when you have other competitors like the Ioniq 6, Ioniq 5, the Kia offerings, etc. And you can even get the Ioniq 5 for about $30,000 after local subsidies in Seoul, which is insane. It would be an absolute steal for $30,000. But if you think of it this way, in the United States, yes, it starts at about $41,000, but if you can lease it and take advantage of the $7,500 tax credit loophole, that will definitely help be in the mid to low 30s, which makes this vehicle a much better option at that point. But paying cash for a new electric car is not very wise, in my opinion, because they change and improve every single year. So electric cars, in my opinion, would be a great vehicle at this point in time to lease because of the price drops, because of the advancement in technology, etc. But I'm going to end it there. Are you guys excited about the refreshed GV80? I was not expecting it. I knew we would get the coupe sometime soon, but definitely a welcome news update for me. I wasn't expecting to see anything from Genesis. And I think Genesis is now being offered in Japan. So if they have some unique offerings there, maybe like the G70 shooting brake, which the G70 is on the chopping block, but they have this cool shooting brake at the Japan Mobility Show. If Genesis is even a thing at the Japan Mobility Show, I'll try to give you guys a little hands-on coverage of their models as well. But I'm going to shut down. Thank you guys for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. Have a great day and peace.